Hello, fellow ink drinkers, and welcome back to the Blind Girls Book Talk podcast. My name is Aria.
And I'm Belle.
And we are two legally blind sisters who love reading and love books. And so what we've done is we've created this podcast in order to talk about that. We talk about a wide variety of bookish content, and that can range from bad retellings of stories, book to movie adaptation comparisons, buddy reads, recent reads, bookish challenges. Really, the list does go on and on. And today what we're doing is because the podcast officially turns a year old, I think it's tomorrow, we decided to do kind of a reminiscing episode and just kind of talking about the podcast and, you know, what we've enjoyed about it, some behind the scenes stuff, that kind of thing. I know we just did like another reminiscing episode about books, but 'tis the season for reminiscing.
Yeah.
So, I know it's sentimental, but I thought it was nice since the podcast is going to be a year old to talk about where we had been and how we got here and what we've learned, how we've grown.
Okay. I was going to say something very sarcastic.
I know.
But
I felt it.
I was like, no.
I felt it happening, and then I was like, oh, I should not have done that. I should not have done that.
Do you know what sparked the...
No, I don't, and I don't want to know. I don't think I want to know.
Yeah, you probably don't.
So, with that out of the way, what we're going to do is we're just going to talk about some of, the episodes that were standouts that we really liked doing, things that stuck out in our brain. The first one is that the Pride and Prejudice adaptation talk. I had fun with that. Like, I feel like that was like our best book to movie comparison. Like, even though it was the first one, like, we just had so much to talk about. So I feel like that was our best one.
Yeah, we did have a lot to talk about. Or, well, I did. I will admit, though, because that was like the second thing we filmed.
Like the second episode.
So you could tell we were still not comfortable. Like, we're slowly like acclimating to what we're doing. Like it's so awkward. Like the first ones are so awkward.
Yeah, they're awkward, but like for some odd reason, like that one, everybody likes that one, it seems like.
I mean, hey, good for you if you can handle the awkwardness that is us.
Yes, and I mean, we don't get less awkward, let's be real here.
No, we don't. We just get more comfortable, but then just makes us more awkward.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
But I think it's the nerves that cause the awkwardness.
Yeah, at first that's what it was. I was very nervous for the first several episodes that we did. I want to say the first like handful of episodes we did, I was like nervous. Now I'm just like,
Yeah, now we're just like,
I'm just gonna talk about some stuff.
We're just gonna talk.
It is what it is.
It's fine.
So that happened. Now I will say another one, because I'm kind of looking from the oldest episodes, and then as we go, we'll hit the most recent ones.
Yeah.
But another one, our Is the Raven Real?
I was about to comment on that one.
So for that one, I feel like, and I haven't listened to it since I posted this episode, like, then that was back in the end of January of 2022.
Yeah.
But I feel like that one, when we first had our like 2-hour phone conversation talking about this, I feel like we had so many things like, that we were talking about and we wanted to say. And then to put it into that episode, I don't think it translated very well.
No, it didn't.
It was one of those, you had to have been there in our original conversation.
Yeah, because that original conversation was glorious.
It really was.
But like putting it down, we also did film that late at night.
This is
so
true.
You're like tired.
This is true. Now, are any for you that stand out, like in the beginning ones?
I mean, bad retelling of Rebecca, but I just love your bad retellings just because they make me laugh on how you try to interpret classic literature.
It's a great time.
Your brain must be Oh, I'd hate
My
it.
brain is a fun place.
No,
but
it's
honestly, like out of all of the episode types we do, I think bad retellings are my favorite.
bad retellings. I think are just so much fun for us.
Yeah, because I just have fun just taking a classic and then just being like, whatever it says, no, I'm rewriting history.
Yeah, you're just like, I know the author said this, but no.
But
JK.
no, that's not happening. That's not
That's
how
not happening.
I see this happening. I see it happening this way. And I think it's funny. I really do.
That's a good one.
Although the only episode I will say I did not like was our bad retelling of the monk. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the retelling itself. I think it's just because of the source material itself.
Oh, that book sucks.
Yeah,
I wanted to read that book because it's referenced in one of my all-time favorites, Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I was like, yes, I get to read this book. So excited. And then I started to read this and I'm like, I am uncomfortable.
I think that that's the problem that I have with the monk, is that it's just the source material is just real rough and it ain't for me.
Oh, no. Anybody who likes that book, I'm concerned.
Although I will say another one of the adaptation comparisons that I liked was comparing Stardust. I had a really good time with that one, talking about Stardust and comparing the book and the movie and forgetting to give spoiler warnings at the beginning.
Oh, that's why it's a spoiler filled.
Yep. Because
Wow.
I forgot to give a spoiler warning at the beginning of that. And I was like, well, and at the time I was still like, I'm still working on editing. Like, I'm still working on it and trying to get better and like kind of self-teaching myself how to do it. But at the time I didn't know how to fix it. And so I was just like, this is my life now.
This is my life.
This is my life. Did you like the how anyone can become a reader? Because I know that was like one of your like brain children.
I did. Like, I think it came out okay. I liked that one. I mean, we do give some sound, like, advice that, like, I wish we would have known earlier.
I don't even remember what we talk about, really. I have no idea.
Of course. Yeah, no. I liked that one. That was a fun one for me, especially because, you know, I started not liking reading at all.
Yes. And like there are some episodes that were more like your ideas as opposed to mine. And
yeah.
I feel like there are some of them that, and even some of my ideas, like they don't do very well. Like it didn't go well. It did not go the way that I had planned it. But that's okay. I mean, again, we're trying. We learn. We live and we learn.
We live and we learn. Like some of the the inheritance game theories.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why did we do that?
Yeah.
I'm like, why did we do that? Because it's like that's like that one. I was like, why did we think that was a good idea?
But here's the thing, though, because we were trying to do book theories. Because like I'm a big fan of like game theory and film theory from Wattpad. And I was just like, there needs to be a book theory. And so that was our book theories are kind of like my ode to Wattpad in a way.
Yeah, some of them came out okay, and then some of them just crashed and burned.
Yeah, and I think that's why we kind of stopped
Really trying to do them
doing
so
those
much.
as prevalent.
Prevalent. Oh my gosh, now I can't say it. Oh my goodness. Why we stopped doing them in order?
Why we stopped doing them as much as we used to. 'Cause
Like
we used
following
to do
a
the-
system.
Yeah, because we used to have a system where it was like every
fourth episode
was a book theory. And then we were kind of running out of theories and we couldn't find any more. And so then we were just like, okay, well now we'll do an author talk like every 4 episodes. And I do like our author talks. I'm excited for some of the ones we have coming down the pipeline.
I know you are, but those are a lot of work for me.
Well, except for the one, I did all the research for Agatha Christie.
You did. You took over Agatha Christie, which I'm thankful for, but still, all the rest are all on me, and that's a lot of work because I have to do all the research.
But you do a good job researching.
I know I do. I just
don't.
I don't know how you can't. Like, it's not that difficult. Anyway, our first 3-parter that I think I had the most fun with is How Well Do We Know Each Other?
How Well We Know Each Other
Oh my
challenge.
God, we had so much
blast. And like that one, it wasn't meant to be 3 parts. It really wasn't.
It wasn't.
We were just meant to do a couple, and then we just kind of got on this roll. And then like an hour and a half later, here we are. And I was just like, but it was so fun.
It was so fun. We had so much fun filming that. Like,
And so
we were just laughing.
Yeah, so it was just like, well, we're going to do that. And I feel like, honestly, that episode itself is kind of the turning point to how we started doing episodes in a way. We got, I think, more comfortable with being like, we're just going to talk about things we want to talk about.
Yeah. I think that's like the turning point of when we got really comfortable and like we decided we're just going to have fun with this.
Right, exactly. And so that's what we've been doing, I think, here on out. And that's kind of been the tenet for the episodes for the most part.
Yeah, because like from there, we really like got comfortable with the Poe talk and
the dramatic bad retelling of Pride and Prejudice.
Oh my God, yeah.
I loved that.
Oh my gosh, my best friend, Beth, loves that one. She is in love with that episode. She's like, that is the best thing you ever did.
I love that episode. Actually, well, we'll come back to my other favorite. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite, like top tier bad retellings for me.
Yeah, I think like from there, we really started to just kind of do things that we wanted on our own schedule. Like, yes, we have everything marked. And like, even though now I'm done with college, we're still going to record in advance.
Yeah, we do.
So we're going to do it, you know, kind of record what we want when we want, but still follow a recording list.
Yeah, because normally, like, it's kind of how we have everything listed. It's kind of a lot to just be like, what are we going to be doing? So we just kind of make a more like detailed list a little bit. And then after that, we start playing around with the order until we start actually recording stuff. And then once we start actually recording stuff, that's when it becomes like actually cemented into what we're doing.
Yeah. The first sentence challenge was fun.
The first sentence challenge was fun, and I do want to do that again.
We need to redo. Yeah, we'll have to redo that one.
Because, I mean, like, honestly, there are some things that it's like, okay, we can't repeat this, or we don't want to repeat this. Like, we didn't really have fun doing it, or it doesn't call for a repeat. But some of these, like the first sentence challenge, we can easily do again. You just have to find more books. And, like, I'm all for it. And I think probably sometime this year we'll do another one. But
yeah,
that one was a really fun time. Talking about the nostalgia reads, our first nostalgia reads, I don't think that went horribly wrong. I don't feel like it went horribly right either. So
I think that's kind of just a meh episode. I mean, that was all you.
Yeah.
And I just was there.
Yeah, because you weren't able to really read.
No, because college and life kicked my butt and I was going through a lot. So that didn't happen.
Yeah. And so hopefully when we try this again, because I think we are going to be doing another nostalgia one here soon. And it's kind of like a nostalgia book to movie adaptation comparison.
Yeah.
So I think that is going to kind of change it a little bit, I think.
Yeah. I also just like when we do our challenges, like the bookish Would You Rather.
Yeah, doing the bookish challenges is really fun, and we're going to try to find more of those and do more of those, you know, as time goes on.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other top tier bad retelling is the tipsy bad retellings
oh my God.
of Charles Dickens' Christmas stories. Now, by this point that this episode goes out, you will have already hopefully heard the bonus episode and have heard my explanation. So we originally had attempted to do 3 Dickens stories in one episode, but my drunk self really wanted to talk about A Christmas Carol and not the rest of it.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's why, like, the other two they actually did kind of feel like an afterthought in a way. And so that's kind of why I split it the way that I did. And I'm glad that I did, because what we had originally planned for the bonus Christmas episode wasn't very Christmassy. Like, it was okay. And like that
I forget
bonus,
even what we had. Well, you planned that.
well, it was more of the bookish aesthetic
Oh yeah,
challenge because that recording was really long too, and I just cut a bunch out because I was just like, I can't have a really long episode, and I'm not having another like 2-parter episode. That's not happening. So I cut a bunch out, and I was just like, it's okay. This will go up at Christmas time. And then the bad retelling happened, and it worked out a lot better. And now we do have kind of a bonus episode to save for a rainy day if we need it. So
yeah, just like a fun little bonus, which I mean is nice to have.
yeah, and plus we wanted to go back to the bookish aesthetics anyway, and I don't know when we're going to do that, but
I have no clue.
at some point we will, maybe, probably.
Yeah, eventually.
Actually, when we run out of idea, when we start
running out of ideas,
when we start scraping the bottom of the barrel, that'll come back.
yeah, when we're like, well, what do we do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
Which, I mean, it already starts out like that when we're starting to pull stuff.
That's pretty much how
What do
we start any of our brainstorming sessions. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
And yeah, and it just becomes like this whole, okay, well, I'm just going to throw some stuff down and you tell me if this works for you.
Yeah,
And
or
it
like we'll look at
becomes-
the months and we're like, oh, what's happening in this month?
Yeah.
What's this month?
Yeah, and we try to pull stuff. Like for me, like there are times where I don't want to do things the way that things ought to be done. Like further down the line, unless this changes, this might change by the time that this episode goes live. So don't take this for face value. But the tentative plan right now is to talk about H.P. Lovecraft in February, which Belle is just like, we're talking about a horror author in February.
Oh, I love it.
When there's, Valentine's Day. And like, she's like, are you sure you want to do that? And I was like, listen, I got through Christmas and I can't get through this holiday without something that's a little like weird and spooky.
And I said I'm okay with that
Yeah,
because
you
I
said-
love the idea.
Yeah, and you're totally cool with that. But
Because
it's
I
just,
hate Valentine's Day
yeah.
with a fire burning passion.
So it's just, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to do things the way they ought to be done sometimes. And
Yeah.
that is just kind of the tenement of it.
Yeah,
So-
but there's that, and then like I'm trying to think of some of our like tentative future episodes that we have.
There's a bit of like book to movie comparisons coming down. I know there's a couple more of those. I know there's at least another Tipsy Bad retelling coming down the pipeline. I know there's probably going to be some more bad retellings, but the thing is that like as much as I love doing bad retellings,
You hate
If-
having to read the classics?
if I have to actually read the classic, like if it's not one I've read before, then I have to psych myself up for it. And, it's a time, and I have to do it in baby steps. Audiobooks really do help.
Yeah, for you they do. I mean, I know we're kind of starting a few, like 2 new type of series type deals. I know we're doing that.
Yes, we are, and
With-
we're not gonna
We're not going to spoil that.
we're not gonna spoil that.
Another thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be covering a couple more like topics that are kind of, I'm going to say it this way. We're covering a couple topics that are kind of personal to us,
Yes.
if that makes sense.
Yes.
Or like things that we want to talk about that aren't necessarily bookish.
And we're going to see how it goes because honestly, by the time that we record it, it might not go the way we want to and we have to change it anyway. But tentatively, we are going to be just kind of touching base more on a personal level as opposed to just a bookish level or a book level. And
Yeah.
again, it might not go the way that we plan it. So like it might all change anyway. This is all tentative.
Yeah, this is all tentative, but what we're going to touch on, it is going to come to a lot more personal level. Something that I've went through the past year, I went through like this huge thing, and Arya knows how much it's affected me and everything. And in trying to heal from this past year, I realized that what I went through isn't really touched on. So like I said, like I wanted to kind of touch on that and kind of be a spokesperson that like, hey, this isn't just this happens.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, we're going to see about it. We are planning to hopefully launch another show sometime this year. So
That's also a tentative plan.
that's also a tentative plan. Stay tuned for that. We will see.
We will see. It may not happen, but
Yeah, it may not happen. It might get pushed off yet another year because it was actually supposed to be launched
this year
in October of 2022, and things happened, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, we'll maybe touch on that in that episode that I was just talking about.
Yeah. So, but we'll see. We'll see. We at this point we play it all by ear and just kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. In some way, shape, or form, that episode will come out.
Like I said, we make plans and then we look at our plans and we're like, I don't like how that is. Let's change the plans. And then we change the plans and then we keep changing the plans until finally we're just like, okay, this seems like a good plan. Hurry up and record before we change our minds again.
Yeah, legit. Before we started recording, it was us earlier. I was like, oh, this month is this thing. We should like put a thing here. So then it was me going through, taking out a thing, moving that down, inserting the episode that I wanted to insert, and then redoing the list.
Because we used to keep it all on paper, and now we've officially upgraded to using a
Yeah, now we just have a Google Doc.
Because we change things too much for the paper to be beneficial.
Yeah,
Like
we had a whiteboard going, and then the whiteboard just died off.
Well, I think we use a whiteboard. You used a whiteboard for some ideas, and then we got through all of those episodes that were on the whiteboard, and you just never erased it to like.
No, because that was
back.
like in the beginning stages.
Yeah, we've definitely changed a lot, and like we've learned this as we've went. You know.
Yeah, this was kind of a spur of the moment thing. This all started off as a blog.
Yeah, this all started off as a blog, and then we started doing this, and we were just like, forget the blog. We have fun doing this. And like, we just started this and having more fun. And then now it's kind of like, man, I wish we would have just started with this.
Yeah.
And not the blog.
Yeah, like it's like one of those things like, man, we could have just been doing this
The whole time.
the whole time. But it's okay. We lived and learned.
We lived and learned, and like, hopefully you guys have been enjoying this and noticing how we've grown. And I mean, we'll continue to grow, hopefully. All right. Any other like final thoughts?
I hope this next year is better than the last.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, like, there was a lot of stuff going on, like in real life, in personal
Behind
life,
the scenes
that just things were very crazy. So hopefully this year things settle down at least a little bit, or at least are a lot more manageable in the chaos.
Yeah.
That's the bare minimum I ask for.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, we want to thank you guys for coming along today as we reminisced about the podcast, and happy year birthday to the podcast.
Woot woot.
Of course, if you like this episode, please consider following the podcast and sharing it with your friends. We would really appreciate it. It would help us to grow the show. And then what are we going to be talking about next time?
We are going to be talking about our trip to Harry Potter World.
Excellent. So we will see you guys next time.
Bye.